Well, today we have questions coming from you, the viewers, and Katie Tucker, who is joining us this week, will be providing the legal answer. Katie, how are you?
I'm well. Thanks for having me back, Rochelle. I haven't seen you in a while, and nice to be back.
I know. It's so great to have you back in here, especially because you and the entire Sinas Dramis law firm are always breaking down our hard-to-answer questions in ways that we all understand. And today, a lot of our viewers are asking you about motor vehicle crashes. But Katie, we want to know more specifically, owner liability in Michigan. Talk to us about what that is.
Sure. This is a very important but little known feature of our statutory scheme here in Michigan. Under Michigan law, an owner is liable for the negligent operation of their vehicle in the same way that a negligent driver is liable. In other words, if you're injured in a car crash in Michigan, you may not only be able to pursue a claim against the at-fault driver that caused the crash, but also the owner of the vehicle that caused the crash.
Oh, okay. Well, that's very good to know. Very good to understand. This way we know we're getting our car checked out and we're not skipping those inspections either. But Katie, could you also be held liable even if you're not in the vehicle at the time of the crash?
Yes, absolutely. So if you are an owner in Michigan, even if you're not in the vehicle, you can still be liable so long as you had knowledge and gave consent to the driver who was at fault in the vehicle at the time of the crash. In Michigan, there's actually a legal presumption that you had knowledge and gave consent if the vehicle is being driven by any member of your immediate family, like your spouse or a teenage son or daughter.
Wow. Okay. That is very, very important to know. And I'm glad that you're keeping us aware of these things before, unfortunately, if we ever do get into a motor vehicle collision, now we're aware of these things. So tell us, Katie, as car owners, what are some things we can do to protect ourselves?
If you're a car owner in Michigan, there are two things that you can do to protect yourself. First, be careful about who you allow to drive your vehicle. Again, if the vehicle driver causes a crash and causes injury to a third person, you can be held liable for their negligence. And second, make sure that your vehicle is adequately insured. Under Michigan law, the state minimum liability coverage is currently $250,000 per person or $500,000 per accident. That's the default coverage, but I recommend that you purchase coverage of at least $1 million for liability coverage to protect yourself and your assets, like your home, from a potential excess judgment against you.
Katie, thank you so much for breaking down all that information for us today. And you know, we've only scratched the surface, but one thing I really love about the Sinas Dramis personal injury law firm is that you guys always show us how to be proactive so that we're not being reactive after a collision or after there's an incident. But just in case there is, at least now we know we have your name, we have our contact information, we've got a face to a name too on top of that who can help us walk through that information. And for all of you at home, if you want to review some of the tips that Katie gave to us today, or if you want to dive into more, just head on over to WILX.com and you can get more information there. Thank you.
Thank you, Rochelle. Great to see you again.